TV. Hey, it's time for Motivation Monday. You've probably been able to tell we've got guests back in the studio lately, and it's something that we've been looking forward to, and I'm sure many of our viewers have already expressed you've missed it. Well, now those in-person events for some of you who work, well, those are back too. So we're talking about getting used to the return to normal with in-person networking, and joining us in studio is leadership expert and author and public speaker Pete Blank. Good to see you.
It's good to be back in person,
studio.
my
Yes,
friend.
Sir,
in studio. Absolutely.
And you joined us last week or 2 weeks ago at a conference where things are in person now, and a lot of people are returning to that type.
And it's just something we want to talk about because, again, depending on where you are, there's weddings you're going to, there's banquets, there's bar mitzvahs, and so when you get back into those locations, have we forgotten how to network in person? Have we forgotten how to have these conversations?
Yeah,
it's probably good
because people have been used to talking by Zoom or FaceTime and all that. So yeah, so what are things that we need to think about?
A couple of things that you want to look out for is personal space. Okay, because some organizations, and this has been going on for a while now, but if you go to an event, they might have these in different colors. So this might be in like red, yellow, or green. Green means, yes, we can talk and touch and hug. Red and yellow bands mean, hey, spacing. So if a conference or an event has those, be on the lookout for those and respect people's personal space when it comes to that, because just because you want to go back and start hugging and high-fiving and doing all these things doesn't mean that the people in that event want to. So especially if people are still wearing masks, some may be, some may not be. So just be cognizant of others' personal spaces. The other awkward is when you meet somebody and you do this, but then they put their hand out to shake, but then they don't want to do the elbows.
The awkwardness.
It's so awkward right now.
I try to just make light of it.
Because no one knows, and everybody laughs about it. So just be okay with that.
Yeah.
Be okay with that.
Sometimes even pre-pandemic, Mickey has a problem understanding personal space, but that's a whole other issue. But moving forward, we could be dealing with surges here and there.
Right.
But for the most part, it feels like we kind of have a handle that this is just going to be around. It's something we're going to have to deal with. So how do we move forward in terms of networking with people?
Well, we want to be careful with our topics as well, because one of the first things that people will want to say is something like, aren't you glad COVID is over? Aren't you glad we get to do this again? I'm so glad we're back in person. Well, the person you're talking with might have lost somebody dear to them during the past couple of years. They might be having somebody who's sick due to COVID. So be careful with the topics about, oh, I can't believe that COVID, thank goodness, because it may still be fresh in some people's minds. Also stay away from the political talk and all the stuff about that. So again, common good conversation topics for in-person networking events are the weather, sports teams, things like that to get started.
And again, there may be some folks who are watching and they're still working remotely right now. So again, we're talking about those networking situations where, you're trying to develop some partnerships maybe down the road, right?
And the other thing is, as you're making these partnerships, we become so good at networking on our phones. We become so good at, doing that. We have to get back to this in-person thing because that's how relationships are built. So you want to build your relationships moving forward, connecting with people. And so it's important to also look for those cues.
I just use that word, cues.
Look for those cues. Do you want to have a lot of personal space? Do you not? Are you wearing a New York Yankees jersey? Do I want to talk to you if you're wearing a Yankees jersey versus a Rays jersey?
Those social cues
are things to talk about.
All right, Pete Blank, we always appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we're motivated.